Like just go back and forth. All right, this Hangout on air is live. To you, David.
All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 16 of I'd Rather Be Motivated. I'm Mr. David Fleming, and that's where you can find me. If you look on Facebook, you'll find me at Mr. David Fleming. If you look on Instagram, you'll find me at Art of Mr. Fleming. I'm assuming you know that if you found this. If not, go check that out. Scott, over to you.
Yeah, when I'm not here, you can also find me on Facebook at I'd Rather Be Drawing. Or most often, I'm on Instagram. That's Mr. Green Draws, mr.greendraws. So when I'm not here, that's where you'll find me. How are you doing this evening, David?
I'm doing great. I actually do not technically have school tomorrow, but I am working a 12-hour day.
What? Like,
So
kids
we do
aren't going to be
parent-teacher.
there, but so you can like get a bunch of crap done or something?
It's parent-teacher conferences, and we do it this really crazy way where like the kids don't have school tomorrow, but literally from 8 to 8, I have to be in my room, and then parents can show up at whatever's convenient for them.
I hope you take some good art stuff.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite days of the year. I'm gonna be getting a lot of art stuff done.
Awesome.
I have a 12-hour work day, and I'm gonna just throw a big number out there that's probably not real, but about an hour to 2 hours will be full of parents, and the other 10 hours I will be drawing.
They just get in there. You're like, yeah, your kid's fine. He's really artistic. She's really creative. They're great. They're really great in class. You can go now.
Yeah, well, actually, honestly, no, like the conversation is usually like, why are they failing? They don't turn stuff in. If they turned it in, would they be good? Yes. Can they turn it in? Yes. Okay, bye.
Why are they failing? They don't turn stuff in.
Like I've never had a kid fail for lack of ability. It's always just because they're lazy and they just don't do.
Oh, sure. Well, all right. Shall we jump straight into the art check portion of the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. For those of you who don't know, oh, I'm supposed to have my phone here. Where did I put my phone so I can keep an eye on the chat? Sorry, it's right underneath here. I thought I was all ready to go. Let's see.
Way to go, man.
All right. Just want to make sure if anybody's there. Oh, it's full. It's full in there. You wouldn't believe it. It's hard to get in. But
the conversation's getting out of hand. We've
what's
lost
Ace?
control of the show.
He gets off of work at 9. Perfect timing. All right. Good to see you, Ace. Appreciate you being here. So for those of you out there who don't know, it's kind of half art check, half just kind of discussion about different topics regarding art, illustration, comics, and everything under the sun. So for the art check, it's just kind of half art. I'm getting set up here. Then I had to mute my phone there. I think I was
going to say I just heard you say it all over again.
Don't say it again, Scott. Okay, so the art check portion of the show, David and I, it's a way to stay accountable so that we're always making stuff. We get together once a week to do this and check in and make sure how we're doing. So the first thing we talk about is progress. So David, regarding goals and everything else from last time, what was your progress since the last time we talked?
Well, sir, I am on page 5 now of my comic, and it was exactly where I wanted to be. Basically, like more or less give or take a day, halfway through October and halfway through my goal, which was to get to page 10. I don't know if I'll get there. I'm page 8 for sure will happen by the end of this month, but page 10 is like my goal, and being halfway there with half the days left seems like a pretty good, like I think I'm pretty good on that. I've also had enough time in between to draw my characters or random stuff, and that's actually been really good. We talked last time about how my flow works best when I'm working on 2 things at once.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't take the coffee sip.
Sorry, I should have said more. Yes, I recall that conversation. Please go on.
Yeah, so the keeping myself like not only working on the comic has actually been like super like I think it's kept me more productive to have like a break day. Like every 2 days, I work on my comic. On the third day, I do a character, and then I go back to 2 days straight of doing like pages. And like I don't know, it's like putting me in like a really good flow. I think it's working out a lot.
Yeah, I need to take a cue from that. My schedule is not very regular, like at all. Like week to week, it's different regarding work. I think I at least need to come up with an art schedule and say on these days work on this, whether it's in the morning or at night because of work, and then on these days I'll work on this type of a thing, because I'm having that trouble where it's like kind of overload, where you have like too many things going, not too many things going on at once, but I don't have it streamlined, so when I sit down, I know exactly what I'm going to work on tonight or tomorrow night. So anyway, so that's pretty good.
Actually makes
Oh, sorry.
That actually makes me think of two things that went on in my brain in the world of the podcasts that I listen to and whatnot. I listened to some old podcasts because I mowed and kind of forgot to put new, fresh stuff on the iPod for today. So listening to old Dan Barry, Make It and Tell Everybody with Lucy Bellwood on it.
Oh, nice one. I love both those folks.
I know that's why I was like, you know what? Even if this one's an old one, I think this will still be a good one. But there was two things they talked about. Number one had to do with like kind of what you just said, like just productivity in terms of like making sure you know what you're going to draw before you sit down. And Dan Barry was saying that he knows that there are things that sort of stop him from having a productive drawing session. And so he has a list of them sitting at his studio, and like one of them is don't sit down to draw without knowing what you're drawing today.
Yeah.
And that made me think of that because you said that, and that's like super real. Like if you're having a rough idea, but then sitting down and putting the paper in front of you can almost be like worse than like just no idea. Or you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta
absolutely. And that's like advice I've given people, you know, on like art everyday challenges and the 100s and stuff like that, is kind of know what you're going to be working on. I just kind of got to a point where it's just like I want it all now, and so it's like I know what I need to do on each of those, but then it's like you're kind of like, do I work on this one? Do I work on that one? Which is its own difficulty, but anyway.
setting a schedule of like Mondays or personal project, Tuesdays.
Exactly. You know, like technique Tuesdays, you know, so I'm always just, you know, researching stuff on how to get better on Tuesdays. So I can feel like I'm progressing that way, you know. October.
Actually, that's a really good like thought of just like what days of the week do you give for yourself that aren't any kind of project but are literally just like to study and to increase the ability and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's something I've been lacking for a while. Like I'm pressing forward on projects, which I strongly believe in and everything, and researching as you go and learning as you go and everything. But it's easy to just get caught up in just making. It's really addictive, and that's awesome. But yeah, got to take time for learning. But pressing forward on the art check. Any more progress that you've made besides the comic stuff?
I mean, like the comic stuff is the focus, but I would say that just in terms of, I'd mentioned that I had a few commission things that hung on there at the beginning of Inktober, and like I don't like that to happen, but I had them anyways, and I wanted to get them done. I am like 98% done with my final one. Like there's one that's been hanging on where like every few days I might have to do a little bit of work and send it to my guy, and then I wait for him to respond, kind of thing. So I am really hoping that within this week here we kind of finally get to a close on that, and I can like move on
to that. Balancing that with Inktober and everything else, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, cool.
And then, oh, sorry, let me just take over the show. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, no, keep going.
I'm just. I had my con. I had in Colombia. I had a convention on Sunday.
I was waiting to hear about that. How'd it go, man?
It went really well. I did one earlier this year that was kind of technically the same convention, but like before, like it had moved to a bigger location basically. So it's like he didn't wait for the full next year. He just like did it. And I had a cool thing. I had a couple of people who like I had met at the previous one. And I think being able to like show my face again so soon like helped out a lot, because they were like, oh, hey, we remember seeing you at the last one, and like had some cool like return customer conversations, like stuff like got a little bit deeper, if that makes sense, because it wasn't like just the first time they'd seen me, but they were like Columbia people. So it was like I expanded the reach, you know. I've got some of the locals there that know me now.
That's awesome, dude. On 3-point perspective, which we may bring up every episode,
right.
They talked about that, not realizing at first how much business was return customer stuff.
Yeah.
That like they had no idea how, like as far as con circuit stuff goes, like a large percentage of their sales, they said, is repeat customers. So that's huge.
Yeah. making
Very
like,
cool.
and I've talked about this before with people who like, it's a cool thing. I've gotten that interaction that I've kind of always thought would be a fun, cool interaction, and I've gotten at the past couple cons I've been to of like people come up to my booth to ask me questions about. It's like the thing we used to do when we were new, and you'd be like, so if I were to do this, like, do you have any advice for me? Like those kind of conversations.
That's awesome, man. It's right
I
up
had a
your
couple
alley,
of
Fleming.
yeah, exactly, yeah, and it was like really cool and satisfying. And he was even cool and satisfying. And like, I told them like, I actually haven't even been doing this long, like, but I've already sort of gleaned lots of wisdom from this world and how to exist in it. And it's like that just made me think of the whole like when you're able to like connect with someone like that, like you kind of have almost made like the customer for life. And it's kind of cool too, because like I'll remember them, like they'll remember me and I'll remember them. Like then they come by the booth, I'm like, hey, like what's up? Like how's it been? It's like a cool thing to have a customer who's also kind of like a person who's cool to see every once in a while. And you're like, how's the like, I last time we talked, you were talking about like starting your own thing. Did you end up ever have you tabled it anywhere yet? Like that kind of thing was cool.
Yeah, I missed the con circuit stuff. That was a lot of fun back there in KC, and I've been in make mode for so long. I realized here lately how much I'm really missing that side of it. So
Yeah.
make it happen.
All right. So how about you? I'll give it over. I'll stop talking and let you talk about your progress.
Yeah, good progress. I wanted to have my 100 days wrap up video done. I am letting that I'm still doing it. There's no like fizzling out, but I did do one of those things where I should have done it right away. And so it's kind
Right.
of going on a little bit longer. But kind of after our conversation last week and just how everything was going, I did want to give myself a little, not a break. Like I've still been like drawing every day and participating in Inktober and having fun with that stuff. But from like the real just serious grind and drive, I did want to give myself a little bit of a break, more as a chance to just kind of be like sit back for a moment and be like, okay, cool, I did accomplish something big, 100 days straight in a row. Awesome, I didn't rock back on my heels, but I haven't been just in like full production mode. Um,
Right.
which I think is a good thing. I think I need a little bit of a break. And considering this last weekend, I actually had the whole weekend off, and it was my wife and I. It was our anniversary. It was just kind of a perfect timing to really, like I said, I still drew every day because I enjoy that. And it's Inktober, but it was really nice just getting to focus on stuff with her. And fall is our kind of favorite time of the year. We went to an Oktoberfest and fill the creative bank account a little bit, and
Oh
go
yeah.
that a little bit with it. So my goal after I talked to you last time was just wanting to dig in Monday on my October script and just really get that rolling again. And so Monday I got it out for the first time and kind of started reading over it again, which was really beneficial, and immediately started seeing some things. But then Tuesday, something happened. I don't want to get too much into it because I really don't know if I'm going to be accepted or not. I think I'm in the running, but there's a comic book anthology group that's on Facebook that I might be in the running for, that I really like to do, and kind of threw my hat in the ring to say, yes, I would like to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So really had to kind of think about October and then this thing and so I've kind of shifted focus a little bit to kind of put a little bit of thought power, which is kind of part of our brainstorming show idea a little bit later on. But kind of waiting a little bit on October, and just kind of sticking with my Inktober stuff for right now and try to get this other story idea going. So I'm not putting like October on the back burner, because as you can see, there's certain things that are like going forward all the time. Talk to you guys about, let's see here, Jeff Kessinger made this for me a couple years ago. Let's see here. Made it out
Love
of
that.
clay, which I love this guy. I'm going to take him with me to cons to promote the book and everything. It's beautiful. But that is kind of a one of a kind for me. And then it's kind of a prototype and a little surprise. I showed you guys this one that my mom made, so he'll probably travel to conventions as well because people are like, that's adorable. Your mom made that. That's awesome. And it is.
It
But now
really
my
is.
mom and I know. But now my mom and I are trying to like put our heads together and creatively like come up with another idea, if only for like a prototype to pitch to somebody, or to see if it's something where we could like make 25 of them for like a reward tier for a Kickstarter or something like that. But yeah, I got one of these fake pumpkin things that I've been making fun of from the craft stores, because like, why wouldn't you just get a real pumpkin and carve it? They're like these carvable ones. Well, for this, it kind of worked out pretty good, and I can really picture like a teddy bear body, like his body on top of this. So still not taking like a backseat, so I don't want anybody to worry. But it seemed like it is becoming kind of a grand project, and this other project that I might be able to be a part of is a 6-page story. So really, I think it could like help me get better at making comics to make October even better. Not to make October wait longer, but I don't know. Is that making sense?
It is, but can I ask, why can't you make a short 6-page story about October for the anthology?
Well, it's not impossible, but as far as like working with Rao and like wanting to like publish a book and have like a thing, like I still want to do the longer story that I wrote the script for and everything else. The other reason is there is a theme that we'll talk about in a little bit to the anthology on what it can be about, and it's not outside the realm of something that October could be a part of, and maybe that could be like a really cool sort of side promotion thing and use October in a storytelling fashion another way. So it's not a bad idea at all. But yeah, I still want to keep like the story that I have going that I'd like to do with Rao and everything. I don't know, like I'm worried that it sounds like I'm making more excuses to like put that on the back burner, but like I don't think that this is that. If I get a chance to be a part of this anthology, like I think it could be like a good opportunity, and would be a little bit silly to miss that opportunity.
Like to tell a different story, you mean?
Well, yeah, well, to be a part of something cool, like this group of people who make this, like they're a lot of really talented people, and they produced a really beautiful volume 1 book that was quite amazing, that I bought the Kickstarter of and thought was cool. And they're like a good group of people, and it's not just a chance to be like, to like make a book or have a product, because like the reward for the last one is they all got like a small bundle of books we'll like take to conventions and sell. So it's like a chance for another thing that I can be like, look, I did this, I'm a part of this. But like to get to know the people, I think.
To you, it almost feels like cheating to just like take this thing you're already making and throw it into their face.
Well, no, I'm okay with that. I just like with this like grander idea of making like the doll and producing a book with Rao and everything. Like that's still like 100% on my mind and like happening. I'm just like afraid, like as I'm saying it, and like taking on this other idea, like, well, here's just another thing to get in the way of you working on that character that you've had for this many years, you know. And it's like, I like your idea actually of incorporating him into a story with it. Like that's not a bad idea, but we'll see. I don't want to like force it, but yeah, like I think that this is like a good idea on a couple different levels, professionally, personally, all of that sort of stuff, and just to be a part of something cool. Like I don't know, people are cool. It's nice. Humans talking to humans is a good thing, and this is an opportunity for that kind of. So anyway, so that was my kind of productivity and how that went, and then of course working on my Mr. Green's Monster zine print that I'd like to make a sort of print / zine bundle that people buy. So instead of like, you know, one or the other, it would be like a product where they come together. But I've gotten a lot of guys on there. I like how the Slime Troll, he's kind of in the background here. I like how he worked out. I agree. Eyeball Kid, he does deserve a spin-off story, huh?
Yeah, man, I don't know what it is about that character. I just like,
dude, maybe that would be like a fun one, like in the next year or even 2 years. Like maybe we just start brainstorming it. So after this year's out, like a year from now, we're, you know, able to do something. Maybe that would be a cool comic to like make together or something, like a drawing and coloring or inking. I don't know, like figure out a balance. So it can be like
just thinking for your anthology idea, why don't you take one of these monsters and give them like a side story?
Ooh. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Like this is like a thing that just came into my mind today, or I guess it was probably yesterday when I was brainstorming. I had one of those wake up in the middle of the night moments and have to text myself an idea so I don't forget it by the time I wake up, you know?
Hmm.
And it's like it's just like I don't know if you've already got like this just booklet of characters and things that you draw, like why not use them as the device for like a story and just like start making. I don't know, there's like this is it's taken me so long to finally start like making my own stuff. Like I made a few of those short story comics last year and like I haven't not been making my own, but I've like been weirdly putting things on the back burner and making excuses for myself, you know?
Hmm.
And it's just like why not take one of these awesome cool things that you just kind of already have invented and stick that into a story and just go for it, you know, like instead of looking at this as a putting one idea on the back burner, use it as a advance an idea that you already have made into something cool like the monster scene.
For sure. Absolutely. And like even if it was something where like maybe it went in like a different story turn where maybe it wasn't as closely related or something like that, I feel like just the act of making a short story from start to finish and making like yet another comic and telling another story is that same
Yeah,
sort of thing. Like it only helps make the other thing better, you know? But
right.
so we've still only gotten through the first P. So on to the second P.
Let's
We'll
do
try
it.
we'll try to speed through these so we can get to the idea jam session. Hey Ace, if you're still out there, if anybody else is out there listening, and you get a moment and you'd like to share this current thing that we're doing on your social media, and have anybody else come and join, we're gonna have an idea jam here in a little bit, and we love all your guys' input. And that was a little device that I learned from some YouTube advice. But if you guys are enjoying this, you can share it while we're kind of currently on here. And if we can get more people in the chat, we'll have a good time. But anyway, plug done for now. So in the last week, David, what problems did you encounter?
I would say just the number one problem, and it's kind of just been my problem through Inktober, is just that like I've chosen to use Inktober as my device to get myself off my butt and start making my own stuff. And because of that, I'm on a time frame. And so sometimes in terms of the comic, I have made or will or make choices that just have to do with like I need to get this done, so I'm just gonna draw this. And I almost maybe wanted to revisit something or and think of a different idea, but I'm like no, I gotta stick to this idea just because this is like if I don't have time to re-envision this thing right now, kind of thing, you know? And so I'd say
Yeah,
my number one problem would just be moving forward and still being happy with like choices that I've been forced to make in terms of time over other aspects, if that makes sense.
absolutely. So you're definitely going with like a finish, not perfect. You're like, I want to see an idea through. I want to get it done, get it
Yep.
out there. Because then maybe, I don't know for sure, but then maybe it's not so daunting to then go ahead and just start another one. But you still want it to be something that you're proud of. You don't want it to just be a shotgun blast. You still
Yes,
want it to be good.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's still this beautiful idea that I have been saving up forever in my mind, and I don't want it to just become like this thing where I'm like, oh, well, I had to do it, and now it's here, and it's still very dear to my heart to be finally making this world, if that makes sense. I caught this head cold. I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but I'm about to leak everywhere. Give me like 2 seconds to run blow my nose.
Yeah, no worries. So that's another one of his problems is head leakage. It happens to us all. What are you going to do? My problems this last week, nothing too bad. Like I've kind of mentioned before, sometimes when you have a lot of projects going at once, it's been hard for me to like, I want them all to be advancing very quickly right now, and that's just not possible. So it's finding a balance in that. And then, yeah, that's my biggest thing right now is finding a balance in that. So, are you back,
Cool.
David?
Yeah, I'm back. What did I miss?
Oh, I was just talking about. I was just kind of rehashing my sort of problem, with which I've been thinking about the last week since we've talked, and has really been coming up a lot. Is having all of these ideas that I'm wanting them all to be advancing very quickly right now, and
Oh,
that's
gotcha.
not
Yeah.
physically possible. I have to have some patience, and I have to organize myself better so that when I do have time, I am making the most strides forward as I can. And then, of course, now trying to balance this other possible anthology thing. It's definitely not a for sure thing. There's a lot of people that want to be a part of it because it's pretty cool. So, but anyway, Are we ready for the next phase?
Yeah, let's do it.
Plans. What are your plans by the next time we talk? Keep in mind, we're probably only, till I think Sunday. I'll be able to do it this Sunday evening. I think that should be good. So,
I was about to make that comment.
What?
If we are back on the flow and we do this Sunday, then plans are just one more page and one more character should be done by then of some kind.
Very cool. Simple, straightforward.
I didn't necessarily give up on it because on the rushing things for time, I was drawing tons of just characters from the brain, and some were characters that were like going to show up in the comic, and then I realized I don't want to show all of those characters yet and stuff like that. So I have actually taken a little bit of a break, and the next few pieces are just going to be fun little fan art pieces just because I want to. I just want,
cool.
You know what I mean? So yeah. This, like, what I'm doing my pencils right here for what I'll post. I guess that would be Friday's post.
I like it.
I am in the middle of watching a new anime that some people told me to watch called Tokyo Ghoul, and it is freaking awesome.
Called what? Tokyo Cool?
Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, I've actually drawn this character before for somebody, and I just like it sold forever ago, and I want to do another one. I sold a lot of stuff at the last convention that I'm like, I need to restock on some originals. And so this is also me trying to, because in the second week of November, I also have another convention I'm going to. And so I'm kind of like, shoot, if I'm only drawing comic and other random stuff, I got to kind of like restock on some stuff to have on my table.
I'm sorry, I am listening. I forgot to refresh the live chat feed, so I didn't realize we did have a couple people in there. So I'm sorry. Yeah, like I got to go back once in a while. I was still just looking at like the first two comments, and I realized, uh-oh. So I went back and then went back again, and then it all shows there. I don't know why it does that, but thank you all for being here.
Do we have some new people, or is it our usuals?
Looks like we got Red and Ace. How you doing, all regulars? Appreciate you guys being here.
Sweet.
I don't know if you heard my plea before. If you guys want to share this to your social medias or anywhere else, we'll get a good group in here. But anyway, plans. Did I say that yet? I got kind of sidetracked.
Yeah, I was talking about my plans for next week.
Yeah. More Tokyo Ghoul. I got it.
Yeah. Yes, I plan to watch a lot more of it instead of drawing next week.
Nice.
No, just kidding.
For
but
me,
yeah, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say on to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna work more on the print. This guy here. I've got just a few more characters to fit on it, but I'm running out of space, so it's a fun challenge on its own to kind of do this, to get them all in on one pick. Almost there, but that's kind of my goal for Inktober, more or less, is to complete this print. I am mixing in other things. Did my fan art of an elephant. Did an elephant. But mixing a couple other things like that here and there. Which, by the way, I want to run this past you. I want to start doing fan art, like comic book fan art, but of like the artists and writers. You know what I mean? Like do goofy like caricatures and pictures of like Scotty Young as opposed to like Gert and stuff like that. I think it could be cool.
I like that idea. I think that's a cool idea it's like we've talked about a lot of times, like fan art is the driving force for when I don't have something to draw and I want practice and I want to draw faces and I want to draw different shapes and sizes of faces, but I also want to be productive at the same time. Then I draw a piece of fan art, and that's how I stay productive and have fun with my studies. So I feel like doing that is just another way of keeping the studies going, but like having a purpose for them.
Yeah, like do a Jim Lee and put him in like a Robin outfit or something like that. And, you tag him as well. You never know if he's going to come by and go, cool, rad, Do Liefeld dressed as Deadpool or something like that. I don't know.
I just really want him to come by and say, cool, rad.
I think so. Everyone, don't the kids talk that way? Is that not one?
Sorry, man.
We'll talk later. Anyway,
Damn
besides
it.
that, I'm finishing up this my indie gutter logo, working on that. The Artcasters had a really awesome episode last week that was talking about logo creation and font type. And I asked them about typewriter font, and if it's, I said I asked, what are your thoughts on typewriter font? I kind of love it, but is it something that makes other artists roll their eyes? And they kind of unanimously were like, no, typewriter font is cool, but obviously like how you use it, you know?
Right.
And things of that nature, whatnot. But I feel like it's a good fit for a lot of the stuff I do, and I love it so much. So anyway, that was a really cool episode. If you guys
So
don't
you're
know,
saying
you should
it's
check
no
it out.
Comic Sans.
It's no Comic Sans, yeah. Yeah, they're okay with it. They were making, it was funny, like they were geeking out a little bit on font, because like they were making like fun inside font jokes and then laughing, and I'm like, you nerds. But I want to be in on it, you know, like I want to know why they're laughing. But
That's pretty funny.
Chris Desitoff, we have. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Chris. He says, I would love to have Liefeld comment on my stuff, but he blocked me, so uh-oh. You know, bigger losses out there. I wouldn't worry too much about it. But anyway, I guess that kind of wraps up the sort of art check part, which always goes a little bit longer because there's stuff to talk about.
Right.
So besides that, the idea, which you guys are in the chat, so we need your help here. The idea for this anthology that I'm in the running for, in the bid for, am trying to get, they kind of said it's not required, I don't think, but they kind of said, hey, everybody, if you're interested, you know, get a little pitch together. They actually called it a treatment. And I'd never really heard of a treatment before, but I gather it's just like a 1, 2, 3 sentence quick description or pitch of what your idea is. And the theme of this book, the theme of their first book was life in space, and it could encompass anything. One of them was like a couple stoners, I think, with the munchies, like staring off into the stars, like spacing out, you know. The other stuff was quite literal with aliens. So the theme of this one is werewolves and unicorns. How could that not be fun and awesome to do? So it can really be anything under the sun. It's a 6-page comic, which in my opinion, a 6-page comic is about enough for like to establish, I don't know, to establish, you know, a thing, a story, and then on that 6th page, because you start with like the page 1, and then you flip it to see the double 2 and 3, you flip it to see the double 4 and 5, and then you have one last turn to see the last 6, a cool big page spread. And I kind of picture that as a sort of like a joke, like that's the punchline or the sort of badoomch, or that's the, you know, the twist at the very end, you know. So it seems like just enough time to just establish a concept and then turn it on its head, sort of a thing. I had just a couple ideas. You want me to throw one of them at you and see what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want you to throw things at me. Let's do this.
Bam. So yeah, nothing good or bad. All ideas welcome. If any of you guys have it out there, no, Ace, I'm not going to make it a porno. Weirdo.
Well, I mean, you said no ideas bad.
No ideas are bad ideas, but I am going to say no to some. That's just how this works, you know. But anyway, so one of the first ideas I have 3 that I had written down here, is like an ugly duckling situation where like a little baby werewolf was born with a horn on its head, and all the other werewolves are like, oh, get out of here, you're so ugly. And then the unicorns are like, you have a horn like us, come be with us. And it's like this sweet tale. And then at the end, he's like, whatever, I'm a werewolf, so he eats all the unicorns. That was one idea. That was one idea. Another idea I had was started off like a very sort of Benicio del Toro, Wolfman, Victorian. He's like writing a letter to, you know, Victoria. I don't know, like diary entries about like this horrible affliction, this curse. You know, he's doomed to, you know, hide from the light for the rest of his. Really kind of painting it to be like an obvious sort of like he's cursed with like the werewolf thing. And then like at the end of it, he like goes outside or opens a door, looks through the window, and there's like a big bright rainbow, and he like bursts into like this bestial unicorn. So he's like a were unicorn. That's
that's my favorite so far. I love that.
Okay, that's it. Another kid kind of responded to that one at work. So okay, the other one, um, somebody mentioned that like, and my wife kind of mentioned this too. Um, like for whatever reason, like they're like opposites attract, and they have to like team up to like fight the bad thing or whatever, a generic thing. But I thought going with that, do like a 1970s like buddy cop show, almost like it's a trailer for like a new television series coming out, like starring Werewolf and Unicorn, where werewolves are like, I work alone, Captain. I don't want no damn partner. And unicorns are like, we got to do this one by the book, you know, type of a thing. But
Yep,
like,
yep,
just a
yep.
cheesy, like diving over the hood and like, you know, not getting along and clean up your mess. Want another chili dog? I don't know, just like that stupid buddy cop sort of a thing. Um, or the
So my question on that one would be like, so the reason why that one that you described of the where unicorn is like kind of my favorite is
mhm.
it does exactly what you just explained of a good short story, which is we get resolution, like we get like the punchline, right? We get like the 6-page flip, like
Mhm.
reveals the funny thing or whatever. Like
I
what?
feel like that last image of like him like bursting into this big unicorn could be like
Yeah.
quite gnarly.
So my question would be, what is the of the buddy cop one? Because I actually do like that idea. It's pretty funny. What is the? Have you thought of plot on that one, or is that just like you thought of the setup of
No,
who
it's
we're
just that setup. It's just that plot of it. Like I don't know what that
okay?
final would be on that one. Like it's a funny concept where I can picture like doing all the funny tropes and the narration being like that in a city full of crime, you know, like that sort of a thing.
Yeah, it could
But
even just that one actually honestly could be a funny like it's 6 pages of an introduction of the buddies of the cops like in a world where unicorns and werewolves have to be partners.
exactly, like a super
That's it.
cheapo
I'm
like
out.
that.
But
A
yeah,
super
I like
cheapo like that. Let's see here. Ace in the chat says, let's see here. Oh, we've got a couple comments. Since Make It a Porno, we got
that.
it says, or the unicorns lure him with acceptance, then eat him. Ah, the twist on the ugly duckling thing. The unicorns
That's pretty
lure,
funny.
and then are like,
Yeah.
whatever. The only good werewolf is a dead werewolf. So that's warped. I like where your mind is at tonight, Ace. Sounds like work went well for you. I'm glad you 70s cop porno. Chris, don't support Ace. Everyone's
He
hopping on
doesn't
the
need
porno
he
bandwagon.
does not need anybody to tell him his ideas are good.
What is it about a werewolf and a unicorn that's making people have dirty thoughts? Red, he likes the buddy cop movie. Okay. Well, Red, you got any ideas of what like the sort of twist on that one could be? I almost picture on that one like it starts off with like the cheesy trailer and everything, but kind of quickly turns into like a 1 or 2 page, like maybe 4 and 5 are like they're like arresting a perp or something. Like it is the TV show for a second.
Yeah.
And then whatever like goofy funny thing happens with the perp, like he swallows the crack or something. I don't know. And then like the page 6, like next time on Werewolf and Unicorn, does the crack addict survive or does Werewolf beat him half to death? I don't know. So Comic Den saying a movie trailer.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of like picturing, like a funny like the 6 pages is like you flip to the next page and it's like fall of 2027.
Exactly.
Do you watch Rick and Morty?
Do I watch what's that?
Rick and Morty?
I've not. I know it's like geeks
They're
and
they do they do this really funny bit and they've done it for 2 episodes and it's called Intergalactic Cable and the idea is that like he like breaks the TV remote so they get all the cable TV shows from all the different dimensions in the world.
that's pretty awesome.
And so they like kind of make fun of the cheesy movie trailer like that and it's like in a world where two brothers are brothers, and they also have to save the world because the apocalypse, and there's a meteor, and they have, and it just keeps going, and then the name of the movie is like Two Brothers and a Meteor Coming to the World to the,
Yeah.
but that's what it kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was sort of thinking on that one. Let's see here. Red says, yes, make a leprechaun be a Godfather villain. Oh, like a Buddy Cop one? Make a little leopard. Nice. Makes people kiss his shamrock or something. Kiss me, piece of gold. Let's see here. The unicorn should be a one-eyed Donald Glover type. His name could be Patches. Cycloptic unicorn. His name's Uno or Patches. I got you. I like it. I like it. What was it? Looked like there was something else over here.
I just watched Dodgeball, so now I'm thinking of Patches O'Han.
I love all those ideas, guys. Come on, give me something else, dudes, that I can rip off. And then, like, I won't even thank you in the thing, and then we'll turn it into this whole, like, online fight. It'll be great. It'll be like WWF. You guys will be like, he stole my idea and didn't even thank me. I'm like, whatever, I've never even heard of you in my life. And we'll turn it into this, like, whole big thing, and the whole internet will be looking at us, and they'll be like, hey, want to buy our prints? I think it could work. The leprechaun has drugs selling on the streets called Rainbow. Oh, that's pretty good. The leprechaun, rainbow, unicorn. I like it. People enjoying this buddy cop one. That could be fun.
I feel like a lot of fun to draw. Yeah, I definitely think so. It could be a funny, like, you think the leprechaun is the boss, and then at the end, like, the unicorn shows up, and he's actually, like, the drug lord.
Oh, he's the, like, good cop, but, like, he's actually the dirty cop.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. This is turning into an epic. I got to keep it. God damn it, Patches. You need a partner. That's for you, Ace.
I'm going out on your own.
You know,
like, he's got, like, Susan can't be a widow. You got 2 kids at home, man.
I'm a unicorn, Captain. You better let me fly. That's a Pegasus, damn it.
You're a unicorn. Know your place.
You're a unicorn, not Superman.
Keep going like this.
That's one.
Oh, definitely be like that. Yeah, the unicorn is the one who's like, you're out of line.
I thought make him like the squeaky clean one, like go so stereotypical with it, like the werewolf's the slob. But then at the end of it, like you said, unicorn's the one behind the rainbow.
Yeah.
No, but I like that he's selling a street drug called Rainbow.
I just got another funny ripoff since we're going it this way. Did you ever watch Reno 911?
Yeah.
There was this super funny episode that is still one of my favorite episodes where they get a British cop. He like visits for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're making fun of him because British cops don't like carry guns. And they're like, what is he gonna do? And his name's like Happy or something. And then the first person they pull over, he like pulls him out the car and just starts like beating him half to death. And he's like, who do you think you are breaking the law? But he's like every other interaction, he's like the nicest guy on the planet.
You don't even have a gun. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, and then they're like all scared of him afterwards. They think he's just like a pansy, and he's like, what do you think is blood? This is America. You're just abusing. You're like, it's super funny.
I'll have to check it out.
But
What's your favorite werewolf movie?
American Werewolf in London.
That's a pretty good one, man. You know, we just watched the Benicio del Toro Wolfman remake again. I really enjoy that movie, man. I think it's quite pretty.
I don't know if I've actually watched that one.
It's really cool. Did you know in Asian cultures they had equivalents of werewolves, but they were more like a were-tiger or were-leopard?
Like the legend was still the same, but they like used a different species to tell their story.
Well, I don't know if it has anything to do with like a full moon sort of a thing. Which actually, I think I heard that like our full moon thing was like that just comes from like movie culture rather than any sort of folklore.
Actual like legend.
Yeah, but yeah, the same sort of like human shape shifting characteristics.
I would totally believe that like I mean that's like how like vampires. There's like so many obscure like that's not actually real kind of things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm trying to draw this weird angle of this hand, and I don't know if it's working.
I love
There's
these
like,
ideas, guys. They're really running with the werewolf and leprechaun cop show. What would it be called?
oh,
The Rainbow.
like in the comments, they're just going out.
Yeah, they're like. Let's see here. What else we got? A straight laced accountant type werewolf. The wolf is actually laundering money for the leprechaun. Everyone's bad.
That would actually be a hilarious thing. Like you think they're catching the bad guy, like it's like a chase, but then like when they catch up to him, they're like, "Rick, you didn't make change right, man. You paid me 20 extra for that rainbow."
Then they all just hang out and play Nintendo like Hudson Hawk. It could be cool. Let's see here. You guys don't think I'm writing these ideas down, but I am.
Yeah, the drug called Rainbow definitely needs to happen.
I was thinking too, like after a Halloween in Kansas City, one year, like I think the last Halloween I was there, some friend of ours, just a couple came up from Springfield, and we went out with them. We didn't really know where to go. We didn't have like a big party to go to, so we're like, let's just go down to Power and Light, find a perch to like watch the Circus Freak sideshow. And man, was that a fun Halloween. Because we just got drinks and got a table and just like looked out over all that craziness. And if you guys don't, well, yeah, if you guys don't know the Kansas City area, Power and Light District, it's just kind of like the downtown let's go club and just bros and dudes and chicks in super high heels that can't walk right in them. And it was hilarious, man. It was so much fun. But remind me of this is afterwards at the BK bar. Yep, Burger King bar that's down there.
Oh yeah,
across the street where everyone goes after they're wasted and they're closing on the bars. We were all in line for our Whoppers and such. And in front of us, a fight almost broke out. It was mostly just a bunch of posturing and stuff like that. But my buddy BJ and I were laughing almost to tears. We're just like two people back, and we're just laughing at the people who were getting all in a scuffle. Because I don't remember what one of the guys was dressed up as, but a goofy thing. And then the other one was in like a big fuzzy onesie unicorn thing where like face comes around here and he's got like the fuzzy horn sticking up here. And he's starting to do that, like, what? Get in the guy's face a little bit and stuff like that. And the horn's like, bobbing as he's like, start something, say something. And it was just like the funniest damn thing ever. But as far as like concept goes, like I know it can be something like, I don't know, two duders getting in fight over something stupid like after a Halloween party, and one's dressed like
I was gonna say actually a really funny thing would be like two dudes are like getting at it in a huge argument, and then they like at like the last scene is that they're like taking their costumes off, and it's not a unicorn and a werewolf arguing; it's two dudes dressed like that.
They're like mascots or something like that, or
yeah, like they're posturing up to fight the whole time, and then when they finally like get to fight, like the next page is them like taking their Halloween costumes off so that they can fight.
Nice.
But you draw them so that the whole time you think it's actually a unicorn and a werewolf, like, and the things you make them say like are like that they're like making fun of each other for being a unicorn or for a werewolf, so you think it's like an actual like spat between like races.
I like that one.
Like, what? Every year you have something to say about unicorns.
All right, let's see here. So Red says, as far as the 70s cop show thing, have a Minotaur or Gnome chief of police. I'm thinking Gnome. Can't have buddy cop movie without a loud yelling chief.
Yeah, that's real.
Q, God damn it, Patches, you need a partner.
I think I think the reason you love this one is that you're like super stuck on putting that line somewhere in this.
That was it. That's Ace's line.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, he just wrote that as one of his comments and quotes. God damn it, Patches. Okay, another idea I had is if in our political climate, if instead of like the donkey and elephant of like the red and blue or whatnot, if
Right.
like two different political sides were werewolves and unicorns, what that would kind of look like. I don't know, like one side of people waving. I don't know. I didn't really have anything else besides that on that idea or concept. It was just the idea of how goofy and absurd that it is that they pick a color and an animal like a team mascot, like a college football game anyway.
Right.
They just sort of were like, yeah, we're the werewolves. We're the unicorns. Vote yes on Proposition 6. I don't know.
Make dressing as a unicorn illegal.
Yeah. One horn is good horn.
I feel like that would be a funny one if you were good at the political like thing, like if you made the right comments, it could be really funny.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me think of one of my all-time favorite Mad TV skits is they're doing the what's keynotes, is that what they call it when like the iPods and all that stuff comes out?
The what's that?
Like isn't it the keynote speech or something? That's what they call it, like the new iPhone comes out, the iPod or whatever.
Oh, I don't know specifically on that one. I guess so. But I know what you're talking
I
about.
think that's what they call it. But it's that, and he's talking about the new Apple product, and it's called the Iran, and it's a shoe. And then he's like, but the Iran's not the only thing we have. We also have the Iraq, and it's like a literal like 3-tiered rack. And he's like, this is for putting all of your Apple products on. And he starts like just piling things on, and it starts to like tip and lean. And so when the crowd's like, I don't know, the Iraq doesn't look very stable. And he's like, no, nonsense. We just need to put more stuff on the other side of it, and it'll balance it out. And he's like, I don't know, man. The Iraq doesn't look like it wants you to put things in it right now. Like, and it's just like, and it just like keeps going in that like, but it's like that makes me like if you can just find the right like way to like make.
Well, it would be a fun little bit of a thing with the idea that like you now like a picture of the right is this like vicious monsters, you know, and a vision of the left is like this squeaky clean snowflake rainbow shine ass, you know, type of a thing, you know. So it would be a little bit of a goofy, I don't know, like have a news broad, I don't know. Like you're totally right though. Yeah. I don't know that I have them. I don't think I have that. That's like requires like a pretty witty cartoonist. I'm not a New Yorker at this point, you know, but I do feel like there's a goofy or funny story there, especially. I don't know. By the time this comes out, though, it'll be. You don't really even be thinking about politics at that point. Politics is still last year.
There is a funny thing happening there, but yeah. Basically, in the end, the Iraq lights on fire and spontaneous combustion, you know. You should totally look at that up. It's hilarious.
Well, that's not a bad idea. So A says make 2 political campaign commercials, each smearing the other one. So like it could be like a.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny.
Like the unicorns want you to vote yes on taking away all of your prescription drugs.
Yeah, one's trying to get rid of like full moons, and one's trying to get rid of rainbows.
Do you know what happens on a full moon? My opponent would lie to you and say.
Ace says, Unicorn wants to put rainbows in our schools, but that's a blatant discrimination of half our population who's colorblind. Because obviously, canines and dogs and werewolves are colorblind. They're not
That's kind of
cool.
hilarious, actually.
We don't have the full color spectrum. Not fair. Oh.
You bring
And
this
then
up every time.
Chris was saying in regard to the 70s cop show idea again, and Gnome Chief has to stand on top of desks to yell in people's faces. That is a pretty funny visual. I can see that right there.
Like, give me a
And then he
boost.
wrote regarding the political idea, just what we need. More old white male unicorns. Sheesh.
That's pretty good. Oh, that would be a super funny way to end it. It is an ad campaign, and then it's like the last page is a guy on his couch, like watching it, and then he makes that comment.
Like a direct, like they have like goofy names for, instead of like racist and instead of like snowflake, you have something like uh I don't know, bloodsucker or like stupid rainbow trotters.
Rainbow Trotters. That is a great way to make fun of someone who is a unicorn.
You freaking rainbow trotter.
You're a real rainbow trotter.
What do you mean? Oh man. These are not useless ideas. I actually really enjoyed this episode, man. That's how brainstorming is done. And when I just sit in my head all day long, bless you, honey.
Is that what that was? I was like, I think you got mice.
I got mice. When I sit in my own head like all day long trying to think of ideas, that's not often super fruitful. But just having a conversation with other people. This is all awesome stuff, by the way, guys. Thanks very much for joining on this one and for coming into the chat because it makes it a lot more fun. And you guys are hilarious. But yeah, like for me, just having a conversation, I'll go to my wife, Stacy, the sneezer in the other room, and just go, this is what I got. And we'll just begin talking about stuff. And it always helps, So I highly recommend it.
This is now.
Be a jam.
This is just awkward. Now you brought up the sneezer in the room.
All right, let's address the sneezer in the room. I am married to a woman. She's in the other room. She laughs loud. She sneezes loud. I'm sorry. I told her to keep the door shut. She wouldn't do it. She said it's stuffy. She's giggling in there. She thinks I'm funny, even if you guys don't. But anyway, let's see.
Are we closing up?
We are, but oh man, we still got the comments rolling in. Ace says, Werewolf thinks it's okay to feed 12 puppies in public, to breastfeed 12 puppies in public. Is that what you want to see when you take your children to the park? And then Red says, she's horny for him and his feelings flies through hoops to be noticed by her. They don't tell each other until, okay. Now you're jumping back to the other one, like they're partners and like they have feelings, but they can't talk about those feelings.
Oh.
Leprechaun kidnaps her. I love it.
I don't know. I think I put the political one really like continues. Like the more you think of the funny ways to make jokes about it, like
yeah, for Sheezy, Chris Desatov. Once again, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He comes back with, do unicorns really need horns here in the 21st century? We need a ban on all assault style horns. All forward pointing horns. There's only one use for those, killing. What, you're really going to defend your house with that single horn? I don't think so. Dude, I really do kind of like that one. There's a lot of good stuff there.
That's pretty funny. It's funny too because it's like it's not like a dumb like, oh, okay, make a statement. It's just kind of like a funny like just poke at everything.
Yeah, exactly, because everything is pretty much just as absurd.
Yeah.
Werewolf was caught on video humping a leg.
Coming up next.
It shows like Mrs. Werewolf being like,
so I know your ending for this one. It is definitely it's so like opening page and then you go 2 pages werewolf campaign, 2 pages unicorn campaign, and the last page when you flip is like a guy like turning his TV off and like making a funny comment about it. but like, or like it's like he's like, but coming up next, the scandal reveal, like breaking news about.
Yeah, dude. Well, like, so like the first couple pages be like the political advertisement for each, and then the
Yeah.
next like the first three, and then the page 4 and 5 be like a town hall like debate thing where they keep going back and forth, and people are yelling and asking questions and being like, yeah. And then the last page, number 6, like I don't know. There's like a family that's like unicorns and werewolves mix, and they're just like turn off the TV. Like this crap's absurd. I don't know. That almost sounds like it's trying to make too much of a statement at that point. But some sort of like somebody turns off the TV and it's like this is getting ridiculous.
It's always between a werewolf and a unicorn, like every year.
Yeah, we need like a third one. It's like a leprechaun or something. We'll come back to leprechaun. Or not like something else, and it's like when are gremlins gonna get a chance? Like it's all this. And then there's like a third one at the end being like, when will we finally get a voice to be heard?
This two species system is never gonna work.
Like Chupacabra or something is like, because he's the foreigner. Chupacabra comes up. We need more foreign representation. Oh man, this is all good stuff. Thank you guys for this one. It was a good time. We probably should end it. We could go all night. But I love these idea jams. Anytime you're stuck on something, David, we should have one. If I'm stuck, we'll have one. As long as everybody out there is okay with us ripping off your ideas. Because honestly, we would take it and make so much money off of it and not even tell you guys about it at all. And then you'd have to troll us and create this whole big thing. Prints for sale. It could work.
Prints for sale. Buy now.
Buy now. Supplies are limited. Anyway, David, you got to sign off for us?
Yeah, so if you're going to buy prints from me, you're going to go to Store Envy and you're going to look at Mr. David Fleming and you're going to find all my prints and you're going to buy them.
Nicely done. My name's Scott Green, Scott O Green. When I'm not here on the YouTubes, you can also find me on I'd Rather Be Drawing on Facebook and on Instagram at Mr. Green Draws. That's Mr.Greendraws. And if you click on that link in bio up there, it takes you to my Etsy for right now, which is where you can buy a pretty cool comic book about a band being murdered over and over again. I know. Sounds pretty cool. You should check it out. All right. That's all I got. Me and October are heading out now.
All right, guys. Hey, just thanks for hanging out with us again. Like he said, don't be afraid to share this afterwards. And I feel like we need to do a better job of that, just like sharing the video and just in general after we've done the thing and not just with the live. So just appreciate it. And we'll try to catch you guys Sunday.
Take it easy, everybody. Oh, I got to click the thing, don't I?
Yeah, you're in charge of that this time.
I'm the clicker. I have the power. I don't want to end it. Sorry, I was reading one more comment. I love you guys. Take it easy.